Right, we're at the Issaqueena Trail today. Don't know which one since it's kind of confusing. But we are here. I am here actually, not you. Hopefully not. You're not here right now. And we're here to walk around and discuss the Nagatoro anime a little while on the way. I bought this tripod thing from Five Below, not Five and Below, for $5.30 actually, so it's kind of a lie. It's not Five and Below. But I've used this thing for probably about 2 minutes, and I've already broke off 2 parts, so I mean, what do you expect? But anyways, I can't switch. All right, we're on the collar neck trail. It's one of those two. That goes 5 miles, goes around Lake Keowee, I believe. And I got everything, and that is some shit. Go past that. I got everything, so I'll be fine. It's the middle of the day, so it's hot as fuck, but I got my whatever, but that's not important. What's important is that we talk about Nagatoro. Nagatoro was a spring 2021 anime that, to my surprise, was very popular among the community. With anime like Nagatoro, it's a bit of a niche thing, like the tease and girl thing. But I'm not really that big of a fan of it because I'm not a teenager anymore. But what separates Nagatoro from most other tease and girl anime, manga, yada yada yada, is that it actually has some charm and it's quite funny. I mean, there's other ones like Uzaki, which I watched the anime but I haven't read the manga, which are funny, but they don't really have the same charm as Nagatoro. And I was quite surprised by the reaction I saw. I think many other people believe that as well, that it has charm, it's funny, it's kind of cute. But the first episode was kind of rough. I believe I called it at the time like a zeitgeist moment. But I'll get to it later. But like, people were like, "Holy shit!" at the time. But like, as most other things, the show kept getting more popular, and the divisiveness of it like never really occurred. It never was a game changing moment. And I mean, yeah. As I said, the first episode of Nagatoro was quite brutal. It probably turned off a lot of people that haven't read the manga before and knew the full story, to say. But it starts out with Senpai going to the library to draw his wish fulfillment manga. Kind of embarrassing, but I mean, I guess kind of stand for a loser high school boy that has little to no friends and likes anime and manga. But besides the point, Nagatoro and her friends are also in there, not reading any books, being on their phone, eating hot chip and lying. And they by chance get to see his manga that he's drawing. Her other 3 friends are just like, this guy's a loser, and leaves to do better things. But Nagatoro stays, and she lays it on him. She psychologically tortures him into crying. And it's the end of that segment of episode 1. Segment 2, she does the same thing, but in the art room, where he is one of 2 members. The other member gets introduced later. But it for people who were turned off by episode 1, it does not keep that energy. For good reason. Because if it kept that energy for the entirety of the season, entirety of the manga, that'd be torture porn at that point. I mean, it might be funnier in some cases, but it wouldn't really keep my interest. It's not why I read the manga or watch the anime. But fuck, if you were turned off by the first episode and or thinking about continuing it after the fact, I'd give it the standard 3 episode rule, because let me scratch my foot. It does get better, I guess, for Senpai at least. He does have an actual name, but it's not introduced in the anime, and it's not really important that you know it because it has no real connection to the plot. But that besides the point. And ooh, wow, look at this. All right, we're gonna cross that. And uh-oh, there is a tree down. Okay, we'll see you in that tree down. And now this, I can understand why I have not seen any bikers on this trail yet. Well, it seems, gamers, that I've already lost my $5 tripod / selfie stick that I bought from Five Below. It sucks, but I mean, it was only $5. So it was a piece of garbage. I already broke it, kinda. So we move on. But the more important part is I somehow lost my notes. So we're going to do this from top of the dome now. So there's not many characters in Nagatoro. There's of course Nagatoro, Senpai. There's Nagatoro's friends, Gamo, Yoshi, and Sakura. Gamo is kind of a, I don't know, just the one with big breasts, I guess. Kind of the most of like the Yankee of all of them. There's Yoshi, who's just airhead, probably my favorite one out of her friends. They're all lovable, but she's the one I like the most, just due to how much of an airhead she is. And there's Sakura, which I won't say she's my least favorite, but I don't really care for her as much as others. I think what she's really known for is to put it nicely, for being a whore. But there's them, and Senpai does have some friends, but they're not introduced in the anime, so they're not that important. The only other character of note is the president of the art club, which is the only other member of the art club, which is just referred as president, who gets introduced later on in the anime. She's very important in the final arc, but she's not really introduced beforehand. But yeah, Nagatoro doesn't really have a big cast of characters, but they're all likable. Never seen this side of Lake Keowee before. I think probably both Lake Keowee and Lake Hart. Ooh, look, there's a deer right there. But I think it heard me. But Lake Keowee and Lake Hartwell, I think both of them are man-made lakes, made in the 60s or 70s by Duke Power Company. I'll keep this short. And under here used to be more like where people lived. Maybe not here, but like more where like there's actual boats are. Used to be where people lived until like Duke Power and the state, federal government submerged it in water, and now people don't live there anymore. People go on there and have fun. All right, so I just saw my first bikers within the 2.5 miles of walking this trail, and I don't know how they do it, but they're doing it. Anyways, so why should you watch Nagatoro? One, if you like to get teased by women, if you're a degenerate like that, which thankfully most people aren't, then it is your show, and you've probably already watched it, so this point is mute. Moving on, reason 2, it is quite a funny show. Look at that. Ooh, crossing out on a bike. Okay, that and that. What? Damn. Those guys. Reason two is it's a funny show. It is on a not really funny in a typical way, but I don't really tend to find anime funny, and Nagatoro's actually quite funny. So there's that. And reason three is if you only watch the first episode, you probably wouldn't expect it, but it is quite a charming show. I have to admit it. It is cute, to say the least. I mean, there are senpais and Nagatoro's relationship. At first seems very toxic, and it kind of is, but it becomes sweeter after that, and it just continues on. And she's only being like that for the first episode. And the interesting thing about Nagatoro, the anime, is that later on you get to start seeing her emotional state and how much she actually cares for the guy. That's quite cute. I mean, and I guess it's important if you want to progress the plot, introduce the romance part of it, but that's besides the point. Story-wise, I guess that's the reason why I watched it, because like the art, animation is just box standard, is average. I mean, you're not expecting, I forgot who animated it, they're not gonna go all out for it, and they really shouldn't. This is really hard without my tripod. I'll get a better one next time, the one I don't fucking lose. But the art's average, the music, I don't really care for that stuff, but it's average as well. Don't really care for voice acting, but well, actually I'd say the voice acting was pretty good, especially Senpai's. I mean, that's kind of a weird thing to say, but I think, I don't know the guy's name, but he captured what a kid like Senpai is, and his constant gasps and stuff like that. Just perfect. But I gave it a score of 80 out of 100, 8 out of 10. On any list, they gave it like a 72 out of 100, 72%, which is average. I mean, it's not the best show in the world, but it's better than average for romantic comedies, because it has three things. Let's see, there is I had this in my head. There's not too much fan service. There are some which I don't care for since I'm too old for that shit. There's not too much of it. It doesn't get gratuitous, thankfully. Reason two, there's no harem involved. It's just Nagatoro. That's it. And good on him. Senpai does not need more than one woman. He has his hands full of Nagatoro already. Oh. And reason three, it keeps you interested. It kept me interested. The worst sin of I guess, it's not really that trashy, but anime like Nagatoro, even like a worse rom-com anime or whatever, is that it can be bad, but if it keeps you interested, then, I mean, 6 in one, half a dozen in another, who cares? If he's entertained, that's all you really want. And Nagatoro kept me entertained, and probably most people who kept it with it kept them entertained as well, even if they thought it was mid. So, I mean, 80 out of 100. Oh, fuck. If you want to watch it, go ahead and watch it. I don't know what streaming service is on. It's probably on every one of them. But and if you watch the first episode and you're thinking about continuing it, just go ahead. Just give it another spin. And if you don't like it, then just drop it. But more of the lake. third biker. Yeah. I can do hiking, but I don't know if I can do mountain biking. This isn't really much of a mountain, but it feels like it. All right, before I go, there's one more point I brought up at the beginning that I wanted to end on. And that's about the first episode. I said it kind of caused a zeitgeist within the wider anime community due to how gruesome and brutal it is. And at the time, I mean, me and my friends who were interested in watching it were like, holy shit. They actually went along with it, and people were like, wow, this is like, woo! But as I stated, at times, as time moved on, people gave a shit less, and people don't care. And it reminded me is that the fact that it's not related just to anime, but things are rarely as big as they seem they are at first. I mean, you can think about this. Most people in America, at least, think about this in terms of presidential stuff, politics. I mean, things might seem like a big deal at first, but in reality, they really aren't, due to bureaucracy, just how slow Congress moves, yada, yada, yada. That's not important, but to Americans, and probably people outside America too, that is probably the most egregious and constant type of like big news that turns out to be no news at all. And there's also other stuff like video games and stuff like that, but indirectly, Nagatoro retaught me the lesson that things are rarely as big as they seem to be. And that is an important thing to keep in mind when you see things that might affect you badly, such as this guy being elected president. I mean, yeah, it might be bad, but it's not all going to be doom and gloom. But it retaught me that lesson. But fuck, I need to get. I mean, that thing was a piece of garbage, but I can't believe I lost that within 2 hours. That is unbelievable. But just keep things in perspective. The world is not out to get you. It is a very difficult lesson to learn, but you're just one of 7 million people. To put it nicely, you are nobody. I am nobody. You might be paranoid. I mean, I used to be that people are out to get you, but in reality, no, they are not. Not a lot of people are out to get you. I mean, there might be some enemies you made in the past. I mean, I probably have one or two, but you just gotta realize that most people don't care about you, and that might be a hard thing to learn for people, because I mean, all we really have is our frame of view. That's all we have. But just keep that in perspective when things are rarely as big as they are, and you're not that important. The world does not revolve around you, and you're just one of many people, and you're probably not going to have a big impact on the world how long you live, but the world is random, but you just gotta give it your best shot. I mean, it's very hard to give it your best shot. I mean, it's especially within the last year and a half, but you just gotta give it your best shot and hopefully leave the world a better place than when you put it in. I mean, that's also hard as well, but that's due to stuff outside our control, which, I mean, I don't know if we're going to change that, but here's hoping. But Nagatoro, 8 out of 10. Things are rarely as big as they are. Watch Nagatoro if you like romantic comedy anime, and you're not that important. All right, bye. Here is the Issaqueena Dam. It's slightly obscured by this tree, but I cannot really go any further without becoming a fish. All there is to do now is walk a mile or so back to my car. All right, catch you guys later. It was more like 2 miles.